Nurse fired for helping a homeless man. What happened next will leave you speechless. The hallway was bright, sterile, and freezing, like the hospital wore silence as its armor. Nurse Grace Williams moved swiftly, her blue scrubs brushing against her knees. She'd been pulled from pediatrics to cover another late ER shift, short-staffed again, as usual. Halfway to the trauma bay, something made her stop. Not a sound. Not a call for help. Just a feeling. Slumped against the beige wall was an elderly black man, soaked, shivering, and scraped raw. His bandages were filthy, barely clinging to a bloodied arm. People passed him without a glance. Doctors, nurses, even security. To them, he was invisible, but not to Grace. "Sir?" she asked softly, crouching down beside him. He didn't answer. His eyes were tired but sharp. She saw the wound, deep, infected, ignored. "I'm Grace." "I'm a nurse," she said, pulling gauze from her pocket. "Let me help, okay?" He barely nodded. She got to work, unwrapping the foul bandage and cleaning the wound. The stench hit her, but she didn't flinch. Gauze, alcohol, a new rap. Then came the voice that cut through everything. "Williams, what are you doing?" It was Supervisor Dorsey, clipboard in hand, frown in place. "Treating an injury," Grace replied calmly. "He's not registered, not even logged in. That's the violation. So we let him bleed in the hallway. We have procedures, Grace. You can't treat people off the street." "He didn't walk in," she said. "He collapsed." Dorsey's voice turned icy. "Return to your station. Now." Grace stood. Her heart raced. She gave the man's hand a squeeze. "I'll be back." But when she returned 15 minutes later, he was gone. The next morning, Grace was called into HR. No warning, no discussion, just a cold termination notice. "You treated an unregistered individual without clearance," the administrator said. "No ID, no chart, no record. He was injured," Grace argued. "And human. That's not how hospitals operate." Just like that, 6 years of service gone. Through COVID, through crisis, through countless sleepless nights. Fired for compassion. 4 days later, in a quiet cafe, Grace watched a news report on TV. Billionaire CEO Leonard Mason, undercover for 6 months, disguised as a homeless man, visited 18 hospitals across 7 states. Her coffee cup slipped from her hand. The screen showed him cleaned up in a suit, but it was him, the man from the hallway. "I was injured and invisible. 17 hospitals ignored me, but one nurse knelt beside me and treated me like I mattered. No name, but she knew, and so did others, because 24 hours later, a letter arrived at her door. No return address, just a gold seal. The world doesn't need more policy. It needs more people like you. Meet me tomorrow, 9 a.m., Hilton downtown, that don't wear scrubs, that you're not just a nurse anymore." Leonard Mason. Grace sat on the floor, the letter shaking in her hands. Everything was about to change. The next morning, Grace stood in the marble lobby of the Hilton, dressed in simple business attire. Her heart thundered. The elevator took her to the top floor. A private assistant led her into a sunlit suite where Leonard Mason waited, and no longer ragged, no longer anonymous. But his eyes, those were the same. "Miss Williams," he said softly, "you have no idea what your kindness meant." She couldn't find the words. "I was diagnosed with stage 3 lymphoma," he began. "It changed me. I had to see the world differently. So I stripped away everything: money, power, identity. 18 hospitals. 17 ignored me. He looked in her eyes, and then I met you. That afternoon, reporters packed the Hilton Ballroom for a routine press event. But what they got was a reckoning. Our hospitals are professional, Leonard began, but not always humane. He told the world about the experiment, the disguise, the injuries, the neglect, and then he said her name. Nurse Grace Williams knelt beside me when everyone else walked past. She was fired for it, fired for caring. Gasps echoed. Cameras flashed. Then came the bombshell. Effective immediately, I've acquired a controlling stake in St. Ethel's Hospital. And starting today, a new division will launch. Patient First Care. Leading it will be Grace Williams. He turned. Grace, would you join me? She stepped on stage. Trembling, he handed her a folder, reinstatement, a 6-year contract, a leadership role, and a handwritten note. You didn't just give me care. You gave me dignity. Let's give that to everyone. Back at St. Ethel's, everything changed. Policies were rewritten. Empathy training became mandatory. Trauma-informed care was the new standard. Supervisor Dorsey was relocated, and in that once silent hallway where it all began, a bronze plaque was mounted. One nurse changed everything, in honor of those who see the human before the patient. But Grace? She stayed the same. She still brought snacks to the night shift, still stopped to chat with patients, still knelt when no one else would point. One evening, Leonard, now in remission, returned. They sat on a bench in the hallway. Ever wonder why I picked this hospital? He asked. Why? He pointed down the corridor. Because I knew someone here would see me. He was right, because Grace never needed a reason or an audience. She just did what was right when no one else did. And that changed everything. If this story moved you, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Share it with someone who still believes in kindness. And tell us in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and keep watching.